Am I later? Yep, got the notifications. So maybe I should go on IG Live. Yeah, that's way too loud. Uh, gonna give it some time for a little bit. Nah, I'm not gonna go on Instagram Live because that's a whole different community of people. I don't think I need to address anything on Instagram Live. I have a whole different audience on that platform. So, it makes no point for me to say anything remotely or do go on a live. It's not worth it. Nah. Even, the more I think about it, it's just like nah. But I'm gonna give it about like 2 more minutes before I start. Got some stuff I want to get off my chest, and of course, as y'all see in the title, is this the end of it all? I think once. Currently live. Because I got some stuff I gotta get off my chest, some things I want to talk about. It's about 2 minutes and 30 minutes since I've been live. Okay. And I'll upload like a photographic, whatever you want to call it. That's dope. I love that. I like that. End of what though? Hey, Lightning KO, what's going on? Don't worry, I'm gonna explain in about less than a minute. I'm gonna explain. I'm just letting the stream play so that way more people can be notified that I'm currently live and just some stuff that I just need to get off my chest because some people may not like what I'm going to say, but there's a good reason behind it. And if there's anything that I want to do, is to address those that have been following me and give you guys an explanation on the who, what, when, where, how, why, so on and so forth. So that much you guys deserve to know what's going on and keeping you guys informed on, future stuff. So we are at the 4 minute mark. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and start. All right, so lately I've been having thoughts in my mind about should I continue content streaming, like me streaming games, whether I'm playing fighters or whether I'm playing shooters, or recently I was playing Elden Ring, right? And of course, I'm having a good time and having fun with that game, but started to think a lot more and more, and it's like I would say last month I tried to have like a set schedule on when I'm gonna stream. Okay, I'm gonna stream this. I'm gonna stream that. I'm gonna spend some time and hanging out with you guys in the chat and whatnot. But one of the things is that life can get in the way of a lot of things, and so much so that sometimes you're gonna have to sacrifice some some things that you like to do on your personal time to handle some business in your personal life, because your personal life does come first. Like things that happen outside of your hobbies, that takes priority. That comes first, no matter what, regardless what anyone says. And with that, and with my own personal life, without going too much into detail, I feel like I'm getting to the point where I am overwhelming myself because there's just so much to do in one day. And then there are days where I do have like time off, and it's just like, there's like, oh man, I still have so much for me to do. But then I end up using those days off to just unwind my mind. Like, my mind needs a break. Like, there are days where I have to give myself a break, because sometimes you can work yourself to the point of exhaustion, and then it'll be hard for you to come out of it because of that, because of the fact that you're trying to take on so much, because you see opportunity in a lot of stuff. And that's how my personality is, and that's how I would, yeah. Hey Jacob, what's going on? And with that, it got me thinking, with everything that's going on in my own personal life. I mean, for those that don't know, I do work a full-time job, around like 40 to 50 hours a week on average. And there are days when I just come home from work, it's just like, I'll be like dead tired. And then of course I have like other errands I gotta handle out. Like, once I'm done with my actual job, then I gotta handle some errands, and then by the time I get home, get myself relaxed and situated, get something to eat, take a shower, and then get ready to stream. And by the time you know it, I gotta also handle some online stuff. And then I'm like, all right, now it's time for me to stream. And it's already too late. It's already 10. It's already 11. Now it's like, now I gotta get ready to go to bed. It sucks. I'm not gonna front. Like, it really sucks that it's like my life is like that. It really does suck, because you want to do so much. You want to, hold on, go to live producer, because I'm trying to make sure. Okay, it's like you want to do so much. You want to try to be ahead of the game, but when it comes to content creating, what I've learned is that it's like you're fighting to try to gain the most attention. The more attention you have, the more success that's going to come your way. The more your growth grows, or your platform grows, or you as a creator grows, because the more attention you seek and try to get, the more people that follow you, what you do, then the more the better, But you're just going to have to be mad consistent, like stupid consistent in what you do. And then, of course, retention. Like, can you retain your audience for a very long period of time with doing the content that you do? And I have so many ideas of, how I want to, do content, of course, on, streaming wise, and then, of course, on YouTube. But lately, it's just, bro, it's like as much as I want to, it's like I won't be able to. Hey, Sean, what's going on? It's like, as much as I want to, as much as I want to do like a lot of content involving YouTube, making some, created videos on YouTube, or making some more content for streaming and whatnot, stream more games, interact with you guys. It gets to a point where it's like, bro, I can't. I'm literally driving myself up a wall at this point. And how things are moving in my own personal life, it's like I'm gonna have to make some sacrifices. I'm gonna have to sacrifice some things in order to bring some balance in my life. But with these sacrifices, they're not gonna be permanent. So pretty much, I'm gonna have to be sacrificing game streaming. Yeah. As much as I don't want to, but it's just like I have to bring balance into my own personal life. Because here's the thing that people don't know. As I said earlier, I have my own I have my own job that I work at 40 to 50 hours a week, right? Then I also do tournament organization at Flynn's Arcade, which is literally, oh my God, like that takes up most of my time, especially. I mean, it does take up my time because I'm organizing tournaments each and every week. I'm always trying to see if I can do anything differently to shake things up. And then, of course, planning events around tournaments. Like last month, we had a convention last month that we went to, which was Beyond Comic Con. And it was our first ever one. Did a tournament there. It was all right. It was all right. And then and then Sunday, I believe it was either the second or the third Sunday of February, we had our very first King of Fighters 15 tournament at Flynn's. And then on the last Saturday of February, we also had the South Florida Arcadian, which you guys have seen videos of on my social medias, like on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Y'all saw the video. It's like, I think it's about less than a minute, but it was like, even now I look back at that video, I'm just like, man, I can't believe I got to organize this event with another tournament organizer here in South Florida. Shout out to Aerodusk. And we just had over 130 people for one night at Flynn's Arcade. And as y'all see that video, like it was packed. Like the arcade, the venue was mad packed. Sean says, second job. Yeah, pretty much like me being a TO. It's a second job. And I greatly enjoy it. But yeah, it's like as much as I want to do more content creation, it's just like there are things like outside of content creating, outside of me game streaming that takes up majority of my time because I'm trying to grow this community as big as possible, get more people involved in the fighting game community as much as possible. And with that, that's going to require time. It's going to require money. It's going to require effort. And then, of course, motivation and a sense of drive, a sense of purpose that you're just going to go out there. You're going to make things happen. You don't know how. You'll figure out how, but eventually you'll make it happen. Like earlier this year, we had Fighter Fest Season 3, right? And with Fighter Fest Season 2 and Season 1, there were outside of the arcade when we was doing the outside tournament arc where the Flynn's Arcade was not expanded at that time to the other space where it is now. And we had the first two Fighter Fest there last year. And the whole idea of Fighter Fest is just a celebration of fighting games, which it's pretty much a celebration of fighting games. And then, of course, getting people within the South Florida community to come out to Flynn's, compete, and then, of course, win glory. Second and third place got some medals, and then, of course, first place would get a championship belt, depending on the game. Like, I know with Smash, they got a championship belt and 2 medals. For Guilty Gear Strive, I'm talking about Fighter Fest Season 3. They also got a championship belt, medals, and then, of course, trophies. Same thing with Smash. They got trophies as well. And all the other fighters ended up having medals as well. So, and we were running 8 tournaments. Like, I organized 8 tournaments in a span of what? Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. In a span of 5 days. 8 tournaments, 5 days at the arcade, and we had well over 130 people throughout all of them. We had Tekken, we had Mortal Kombat, we had Blaze Blue, we had Grand Blue. Like, Grand Blue surprised me because we ended up having 18 people come out for Grand Blue Fantasy Versus, which was the biggest we've ever had in South Florida. And it was at Flynn's Arcade. And I was like, holy shit. Like, that was a huge wow factor for me. So I'm still riding off the high of that, I'm still riding off of that. And then I would say a week after that, we were at Otaku Fest, which is a anime and gaming convention, and I was running up the tournaments at Otaku Fest. I did the Smash tournament, the Guilty Gear Strive tournament, and the Melty Blood tournament. And we had well over 80 some people for all three tournaments. And man, and then of course I still had to run Flynn's tournament that same night for Saturday and of course for Sunday. Still had to run. Holy crap, that's a busy schedule. Caffeine and adrenaline keep you going. No caffeine. Like, people ask me, do I take any caffeine or energy drinks when I'm running these tournaments? I'll be like, no. It's just pure motivation and just hype and just a willingness to build this community here in South Florida and make it as big as possible, get more people involved in the fighting game scene. And it's been awesome. Like, since January, it's just been going up, And then February, it went up. And now here we are in March, it's up. Though, I would say for certain other fighters, it's, going down. I know with King of Fighters 15, we started off with 14 people for the very first one. And then the second one, the second one was on a Friday. We had about maybe 8 or 9. The third one, I wasn't there for that one. We had about 6. And then this past week, we had 4 people for we had 5 people for King of Fighters 15 at Flynn's, which was very, very low. So, I don't know. King of Fighters looking kind of, I don't know. Bro, that's great work you're doing. That way, you're gonna keep growing and blowing up. Yeah, man. Like that's my goal now. Which is why it's like, as much as I want to game stream, it's like this outside is just like it's grabbing my attention. It has my full complete attention, and already this month we were at 2 conventions, Super Fan Con and Hero Hype, and of course I was running tournaments there, and of course same day that evening running tournaments at Flynn's. But those conventions, the tournaments there, they were a complete bust. So we had 0, at least for Florida Super Fan Con, we had 4 for Smash, but all the other tournaments 0. Hero Hype, we had 0. So I was just like, oh well, back to the drawing board, and be like, okay, what can I do differently? And every time I go to these conventions and I run tournaments, and then I try to see if people would be interested in being a part of the tournament experience, I always have I would say one of the things that do hold me back when it comes to convention tournaments is the space, the area. Like, where am I going to do this tournament at? And how much creative freedom do I have to make it where it is appealing to the mass audience? But then again, both of those cons were really not gaming centric convention, so I get that. It was more, I would say Super FanCon was more for comic books and people who have like collectibles or collections or whatnot. That's what I feel like that con is for. And then Hero Hype, I got nothing against the guys that run these conventions. I have nothing negative, but it's just, at least with Hero Hype, it's like, what is your identity? What is your identity with this? Like, are you just having a convention, have some vendors here and there, a few artists, a gaming area, and then, of course, a stage for your cosplay contest? If that's it, like, have an identity, or at least something. Like, for those that don't live in South Florida is really big, has a really big cosplay community. A really big cosplay community here in South Florida. And 2 of the biggest conventions in South Florida is Florida SuperCon and Otaku Fest. And I go to both of them, and I go for all of the days. Even when Florida SuperCon had 4 days, and that fucking Thursday was dead as fuck. Friday was a little bit better. Saturday was packed, deep, most hype, and Sunday it was also a bit packed, but of course it ended up being a little bit relaxing towards the end because it's Sunday. But still, most likely I'm gonna be doing convention tournaments this year, and of course I'm always here at my desk, just typing away, clicking away, and just be like, okay, how am I gonna organize this? Do I have enough creative freedom? Do I have to, contact some people about this, that, and the third, the space, the chairs, the tables, all that stuff. And of course, working alongside with the owners of Flynn's Arcade as well, and just coming up with a game plan for when we do go to these conventions. And I'm running tournaments there. Like, it's not, I mean, I could organize a team of people to help me run these convention tournaments, but for the most part, it's mostly me. And I've gotten so used to running 40-man bracket, 50-man bracket. And this past Sunday, I've even ran a 60-man bracket. And that shit was smooth. So I'm getting better at my craft. And it just came to the realization for me with everything that's going on with me outside of game streaming. And then, of course, building the fighting game community and being really good at it. And then, of course, being really creative at it is just like my passion's there. The community is there. Like, even when I do my podcast, what I've noticed, and of course, I know this is going to take a shot. This may come as I'm taking a shot at the cosplay community, which I'm not, but at the same time, I kind of am. It's like kind of 50-50, but when it comes to like people supporting the podcast, I find it that more of the fighting game community here in South Florida heavily supports my podcast more than the South Florida cosplay community. Yeah, that's the truth. More of the fighting game community players support my podcast heavily than the South Florida cosplay community. I hate to say it, but it's the truth. Because as you've seen in my my guests that I have on the podcast, it's mostly people from. It's now being more people from the fighting game community, and with that, and myself and Waluigi, we see that like it's as clear as day. And I have nothing against the cosplay community. I do have some gripes though. I have nothing against them. I have my gripes, but I will say that in the beginning, there were a good number of cosplayers that were, completely and totally behind it now. But now, as I would say, as time passed, as the, podcast has gotten some age, it's still relatively young. I see more of the fighting game community heavily supporting it. And of course, just people wanting to be involved and just helping the scene grow. They want to help the scene grow in any way that they can. And they like the pot. And like, I would get people, asking me when I'm like running the tournament. So like, hey, I checked out your podcast. Your podcast is dope. Some people were asking me like, what's the requirements to be a guest on your podcast? And I'm just like, bro, just ask me. Just ask me. Just ask me, and we'll make it happen. Of course, it's in the morning time, so you're gonna have to be at Flynn's Arcade at 9:30 in the morning. And hey, we just get started, we run with it, and just have a good time. So yeah, I'm gonna require you to be at the arcade a little bit early, and we're gonna have a good show. It's gonna have we're gonna have a lot of laughs and whatnot, depending on where the conversation goes. But it's generally a good time, and even when I had people in the cosplay community in my podcast, it was still a good time. Like, I still enjoyed it. And would I invite more people from the cosplay community to be a part of the podcast? Oh, absolutely. I'm not forgetting them, because they were there in the very beginning. But it's just now, as I've as time gone by and more people are getting to know about it, I see where the heavier support is coming from. And I love the guys and gals in the fighting game community. I love them. Great people. And what's awesome about it is the fact that there's no beef. Like, I would say about 98% of the fighting game community don't got beef with anybody. And I like that. I really like that. Now, cosplay community, that's another story. That's another story that's another topic for another story, but for another stream. But yeah, man, it's just for overall the way how I see things are going, especially for me, it's like my community needs me. They need me, and I want to be there for them. And eventually, who knows, I can make some success out of this and maybe travel to other places in Florida or outside of Florida. And, if people were to ask me, hey, what does it take to be a tournament organizer? What does it take to, run a tournament and whatnot? And I could, point you in the right direction, tell you what you need to get, what you need to do. And it's all about that experience. I mean, you're gonna start off extremely rough. You're gonna have days where you're not gonna have any attendance. You'll have a few pop-ups here and there, whatnot. But I would say, your biggest thing is focusing on the experience, like player experience. Like when they come to your tournament, you give them a great experience. Like that's going to be your biggest focus. Your number one focus is player experience. Are they enjoying themselves? Are they having a good time? Do they feel welcome? Do they feel appreciated? And, are they getting their money's worth? Because you don't know how far some of these people will drive just to come to your local tournament. You have no idea. And I've seen it. I've seen it. I've experienced it. I've had people who would drive 4 hours to come down to Flynn's for one of our local tournaments. I've had people from Orlando, which is 3 hours away, drive down to Flynn's. People from Tampa drive down to Flynn's. And it's just like, I can't step away. Like, I got something good going, and I can just see this keep going even further and further and further. And that's what I want to do. So game streaming is going to be only beef during the 60-second they fight each other. Man, listen. The thing, here, I did want to make a stream about the cosplay community, right? I do want to make a stream about the cosplay community, like my gripes with them. But here's one thing I will say about the cosplay community. There's a lot of good people in it. But however, there's a lot of fake people in the cosplay community. A lot of fake people. You have a lot of them that act very virtuous, or in the public eye, they're virtuous, they're a kind-hearted, spirited person. But outside of that, outside of conventions, outside of the Instagram and whatnot, these people will show their true colors. They will show their true colors. I'm just saying. They going to show their true colors. And be like, oh, so that's how you are. And of course, a good number of them are narcissists. Like, they only care about themselves, the amount of their numbers, complaining about, they're not getting enough engagement, enough traffic. And I'm just like, make interesting content for people to consume. Because when you post the same thing over and over again, people know what to expect. Change shit up from time to time. Don't announce what you're going to do. Just show it and do it. Just do it and then show it. Keep people surprised. Let them not read you. And then you'll get the results that you want. That's my 2 cents. Post interesting content. Don't do something that is completely different. I mean, don't do something that's different that people do not expect. Because if you keep doing the same thing that people already know that you do, they're going to consume your content less. When you post something interesting and unique and they did not expect this, that intrigues them into wanting to see more. Just saying. Just saying. But will I come back to game streaming? Yeah, I'll come back to it. But it's just for now, it's going to be on a hiatus. Because look, at the end of the day, I'm still going to play video games, okay? I still got this. I got my PC. All right. I'm going to CEO this year. I'm competing in Tekken in Mortal Kombat again. So guess what? And I'll say this now. Expect some Tekken streams to come back, okay? It's just for the time being, I'm just going to take a hiatus from game streaming. I'm still going to be here. I'm still going to be active. I'm still going to be doing the podcast. And speaking of the podcast, this is very unofficial, but let me see if I can get it on. Y'all give me a moment. Because I'm going to announce this tomorrow, and I'll have Waluigi do the same thing. Come on. My designs. All right. Don't worry, I'm just download this. Download. And save. Let me open the folder. Downloads. Open this bad boy. Put it over here. Put this down. Put this down. All right. Display capture. Open. And zoom in on this bad boy. As y'all can see it. Or should I just switch screens? Yeah, I should just go ahead and switch screens. Display. Shit. Yeah. So, as y'all can see this, the South Florida Gamers podcast will be streaming exclusively on Twitch on Sundays at 9:30 a.m. So, there's the announcement. Y'all see it here first. The South Florida Gamers podcast is going to be streamed exclusively on Twitch. And that's going to lead to my second part, or second, third part. I don't know. I've lost count of all the points that I wanted to make in this video. But, yeah. The podcast, I think I'm going to focus more on the podcast and make content out of that. It's going to be less game streams. I'm going to be doing more promoting of the podcast because I feel like that is the one thing I'm not doing as much. I'm not taking advantage of that, and that's due to me trying to do so many other things at once or throughout a day. So podcast, I'm definitely going to start making more content out of the podcast to get more people to, consume the content, because I am going to be bringing a lot of interesting people. The fighting game community here in South Florida, as I said before, they're very supportive of the podcast. It's a great addition to the community, and my guest list keeps growing, literally. Like, I already have like a page in my composition book of all the guests that I would want to have on the South Florida Gamers podcast. So it's going to be interesting. Y'all going to announce your first hot tub podcast? I don't know if the owners of the arcade will allow me to have a hot tub inside the venue with water, but I can ask. But nah, like, I want to focus more on the podcast, make content out of that, because I feel like that's the one thing I'm slacking on heavily and that's because I'm trying to tackle so many things at once. But I think once I handle that, I can that at least take some time off of me to do other stuff. And of course, I also have some personal issues that I also have to work on in my own personal life as well. And one of them is I gotta lose weight, man. I gotta lose weight. Like 34. Like my goal before the year is over. Like my goal for when this year is over is to be at least down to 210 to 200 to 210. That's my goal. My weight loss goal, cuz right now I'm sitting at 250. And you might say, "Well, you don't look big or whatnot." Yeah, I don't, but I got to lose weight. More importantly, I got to lose my beer gut, okay? I got to lose that. I want to lose the beer gut. I want to get my arms bigger. I want my stomach to look decent, my back to look decent and whatnot. As far as my legs and my quads and whatnot, I mean, I mostly wear sweatpants most of the time, so yeah. I mostly wear sweatpants most of the time, whether it's hot as fuck outside or whether it's cold. I mean, it's always hot as fuck in Florida, so I'll be wearing sweatpants all day. I just wear sweatpants and flip flops. That's just my dress code, and I don't give a fuck. If I'm going somewhere, even when I go run tournaments, I'll be in some sweatpants and some flip flops. Hey. But for special events, I'll dress up, I'll dress nicely. You know, I'll get the beard combed up or whatnot, I get the hair done. But I'll be bumming it, man, during these tournaments. I'll be a straight bum. But yeah, my goal is to continue to be of service to the South Florida fighting game community and expand it even bigger than before. And when I mean myself and the owners of Flint Arcade. We got some big plans coming. Some really, really big plans. And already, I would say for me, I'm already planning Fighter Fest Season 4. So I've already started that. And then, of course, we also have another event that I'm planning for Flint, which is called Grudge Games, where people can have exhibition matches at the arcade in any fighting game. Of course, it's Saturdays is known for Smash. Smash is going to have 5 events, and Strive 3, and then other fighters 2. Or, if Strive just wants to do 2, then fine. Then we'll just, bounce it off of other games or whatnot. So, yeah, that's where, and it's called Grudge Game. So I got to start preparing for that, because I know that's going to be really, really hot, because me and one of the other Smash players, we were talking about it, and we was like, it would be dope for the community, for our local scene, to have like a AEW, WWE, UFC style, event, but just for fighting games, where all the shit talkers come out and they have their moment on the big stage. And it's like, yo, let's make this shit happen. I'm down for it. Like crazy ideas that seem possible to do. I'm down for it. It's like, yo, that sounds pretty good, because that's another thing. Have events around your fighting game community. It may not be just for bracket, but like fun stuff that get people in the community involved and have them participate in it, because it brings exposure to other fighters. Same thing with Fighter Fest. Like, it brings exposure to the community, gets people involved, and of course, at the end of the day, you get something out of it. Whether it's entertainment, whether you get to meet new people, or whether it's to improve your game, So I want to continue to do great things in the fighting game community here in South Florida, and who knows, maybe the stuff and the crazy ideas that we have, maybe that'll put me somewhere higher in the fighting game scene, in nationally or globally. You never know. Like, to me, I'll be like, yo, it'd be like, for me, it would be awesome. Like if I could work behind the scenes, like at a major, like CEO or Evo, be like, yo, Silverback Senpai, we've heard of the great things that you're doing in your community, in your scene, and we would like you to be a part of the team. I'm like, yo, when, where, and I'm in. When, where, because I'm in. Like, especially after experiencing CEO for the very first time, it's just like, I want to do more for this community. I want to see this community thrive. After that. After 2020, when the fighting game community really took the biggest L, for those that don't know the drama when people were just outing everybody out in there, just pretty much, it was like, you know what, it's time to air out some dirty laundry with some of the people in the fighting game community. It's like, yeah, at that point, it's time to burn everything down and just slowly build it back up again. But this time, we get rid of the negative people that we don't want a part of the community. Like, you're gone, you're done for. We don't want you in this community. And then just have new faces, new blood, fresh blood, and people who are gonna just lead by example and do right by everyone. And that's why I feel like, I want to do right. I want to lead by example, and then of course just hold people accountable if they fuck up, and just set the standard. So that way, moving forward, the community benefits, the community continues to thrive, and we don't have to focus and worry about negative stuff. So, rambled on long enough. Yeah, so, I mean, I would make points like, okay, I'm going to make this point here, but I said a lot. I rambled on a lot in this video. It's 10, and I haven't eaten yet. I gotta get me something to eat. But yeah, man, those are just my thoughts. So there won't be any game streams for now. But eventually they'll come back. Like if I have the time to just shoot the shit, then I'll do one. But if anything, like if I'm playing some of the games or whatnot, or at least if I know I'm gonna play like Strive or Tekken or any other fighter, I'll at least let people know on social media that, hey, I'm going to be playing these games. Especially for those on Facebook that, like, if the Tekken crowd is still there, like, I'll definitely let y'all know, like, hey, I'm going to be playing Tekken from this time to this time. I won't be streaming it, but y'all can definitely come through and we can just hang out, shoot the shit, and have fun. So, because I do miss y'all. I ain't forget about y'all. I have not. Even with the craziness that's going on in my personal life, it's like I do miss my Tekken peeps. We had a good fun run during 2020, and then of course halfway into 2021, we had a good run, But things, progressing and moving forward, and then of course me being involved in my local fighting game community, and then of course seeing that grow and take off higher than what I originally expected is just like, I would have to sacrifice something. And I said, you know what? I'm going to sacrifice game streaming. I'm going to sacrifice me creating content. Because this is giving me purpose. And, the community appreciates it. They really do. And just for them, like, even when they, come out and, just say, thank you. Thank you for hosting or whatnot. Like, that means a lot to me, and I'm very grateful for it because, and the best thing about it is the fact that, the people within that community are asking, like, hey, do you need anything? Do you need water? Do you need food? Like, the people in the community, they're very helpful. Like, if they see me trying to do a lot of things all at once and whatnot, so some of them will step in and be like, yo, I can do this for you if you're cool with it. So that way it takes the load off of me because they know that I'm a workaholic. So, and I'm truly grateful for that. Like, I have a dope community that I'm a part of here in South Florida. And it's like, yeah, I'm old, but At the same time, I'm still young. Same time, I'm still young. I can still hang with the young crowd, though I can't do some of the combos and I can't lab as long as y'all can, especially Smash and Strive. But hey, I'll put in some time in here and there, and I'll try to hold my own. You feel me? I'll try to hold my own. It may not be as much as y'all can do, but I'll try to hold my own because guess what? I'm still gonna play these games at the end of the day, man. Since we appreciate you too, all the gay stages, but yeah, definitely got great things going on there. We are definitely proud. Thanks, Halvin. Thank you so much for that, man. Yeah, man. Like it's been a roller coaster for me, and it's like the ride is still going. Like I'm still on the ride, and right now it just keeps going up. It just keeps going up. There are times it goes down. There are times it goes down, but it quickly goes right back up, like unexpected. And right now, with 2022, great things are bound to happen. And I know with 2023, next year, even greater things are going to happen. And I know most of our fighting game community, they don't know that I'm live. I know majority of them are on my Twitch. And of course, if I go live on Twitch, then they'll get the notification on Twitter that hey, I'm live or whatnot. But on Facebook and YouTube, they don't know. But I will say this. I've heard y'all plot. I've heard y'all cries. I've heard. I'm listening. I hear you guys. That South Florida needs a regional. Don't worry. When I said it's going to happen eventually, it's going to happen eventually. I mean, I hear y'all. It's going to happen eventually. This year? No, it's not going to happen this year. Next year, you'll just have to wait and see. You will just have to wait and see. But we hear you guys. We hear y'all. So, patience for great things to come. You already know. Yes, Alvin. Big things coming to South Florida. Big things are coming. Big things are coming. As I said, I hear y'all. We hear y'all. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. Just gonna have to wait. Because as I said before, I've been working a lot. Answering emails, calling some people up, going to see certain places. Oh, I'm doing more than just organizing tournaments from my desk here. Don't worry. It's bound to happen. Just wait and see. Wait and see. And I'm going to tell you, don't worry, my Facebook and all my other social medias, it's still going to be there. And y'all going to see it. And y'all going to be like, holy shit, he fucking did it. This man fucking did it. He fucking did it. It's bound to happen. As I said before, it's going to take time. Because as I told, like, when people saw how Fighter Fest 3 was, and a lot of people thought that, okay, what's going to be so special about Fighter Fest Season 3? Because now this one is going to be inside the arcade instead of outside. We ended up getting a stage, and we had like a big ass 60-inch TV literally above the stage. So now when people saw that, I mean, it was pure hype. Like, people was like, yo, I cannot wait to come to Flynn's and see the stage, and hopefully I get to be on stream and be on stage, have my moment. Yo, it was legit. People loved it. Same thing with the Arcadian too. Like, they love it, man. They love it, man. And you know what? They love it. I love it too. because as long as people are loving it, they are enjoying the experience, then hey, I've done my job. But there's still more work to be done. The work does not stop, and neither will I. So I'm going to leave it with that. You guys have a good night. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and watching. So, yeah, that's my plan moving forward. So there's going to be very, very few game streams. Expect more podcasts, created content, and yeah, just be on the lookout for when I stream on Twitch. Ring that bell notification on Twitch so that way you be notified when I'm going to go live. I do have an episode coming this Sunday, and I have to go message the guests, as in plural, because it's a good number of them, because we're going to have the second episode of the Smash Cast. And this time, we're going to have three returning faces and a couple of new ones. So it's going to be one chaotic as fuck episode, and I'm here for it. South Florida, y'all better wear your sunglasses 24/7. The future is looking bright. You damn right it is. The future is looking bright. Yo, I gotta copy that. I gotta copy that. I'm gonna copy that, quote you, and put that and just post that as a post, because yeah, the future is looking really bright. With what I got planned, I got my notes, and I got my contacts. It's all about executing it and then getting ready to show the world what I've been working on. So, anyway, guys, y'all have a good night. Y'all take care. Y'all be safe. Stay positive. Stay motivated, especially during these hard times. Stay optimistic. And most importantly, stay classy. I'll catch you guys on the next stream. Don't know when that's going to be, but I think from now on, if I am going to stream on a night, I'll at least remind everyone, let people know that, hey, I'm going to be streaming later on tonight. All right. So that way y'all can tune in and, chime in and, so on and so forth. And we'll just have a chat. So anyway, guys, y'all have a good night. Y'all stay classy. Catch you on the next one.